Because I was too handsome, I became the target of extreme jealousy. He actually had his rich and beautiful fiancée set a honey trap for me, planning to dump me cruelly after I fell for her so they could all have a laugh at my expense. But he didn't know that I could read lips, so I caught every detail of their clumsy scheme. I even decided to play along and win over his rich and beautiful fiancée. Have you heard? That transfer student, Lin Yuan, confessed to Song Qianqian yesterday. He's just a poor loser who's a little handsome. Why does he act so aloof? From a distance, I watched the lip movements of those rich kids at school, reading every word they said about me. They thought I was pretending to be cold and distant. Was I really? If I don't like girls who confess to me and reject them directly, is that really wrong? Among the group, Gu Beichen seemed to dislike me the most. His eyes shifted as he looked at the pretty girl beside him and casually said, "Chloe, go confess to Lin Yuan." The girl he called was Chloe Vance, also from a wealthy family. She and Gu Beichen had grown up together as childhood sweethearts, and their families had even verbally arranged their engagement. Yet he wanted his own fiancée to confess to another guy. Chloe immediately frowned, disbelief in her voice. "You want me to confess to Lin Yuan?" "That's right," Gu Beichen nodded, a calculating smile curling his lips. "It's only a fake confession. Chloe, you're the school goddess, every guy's dream rich beauty. If you confess to him, you'll definitely win him over." "And after that?" Chloe asked coldly. She reminded him pointedly, "Don't forget what our relationship is." "Chloe," Gu Beichen quickly soothed her, "I told you it's fake. We're just messing with Lin Yuan. Don't take it so seriously." "Exactly," Shen Yue chimed in from the side, smiling and winking at Chloe Vance. "Chloe, don't you think it'll be fun?" Chloe stayed silent for a moment before finally nodding. "Fine, I'll do it." Then they gathered around and discussed the details. How to make me fall for her, how to make me completely devoted to Chloe Vance, and once I was deeply in love, how she'd suddenly leave me and make me suffer. Every step of their scheme was crystal clear to me through lip reading. At noon that very day, Chloe indeed asked me to meet her at a corner beside the school building. It was secluded and quiet, perfect for a confession. She had even brought a gift. When I arrived, she spoke directly. "Lin Yuan, I like you. Please be my boyfriend." The words were simple and straightforward. After saying them, she opened an elegantly wrapped box. Inside was a green wristwatch. "This is my gift to you. I hope you like it." Already knowing their entire plan, I looked into her eyes and seriously asked, "Chloe, are you sincere?" Her cheeks instantly turned red. She never really wanted to toy with anyone, but somehow, after Shen Yue encouraged her, she had agreed almost impulsively. After a pause, she forced herself to answer, "Oh, of course I'm sincere." "Then do you dare let me kiss you?" I stepped closer and tilted my head as I asked, Kiss me?" Her expression tightened and she hesitated. "Isn't this moving a little too fast?" Before she could finish speaking, I leaned in and kissed her. Her lips were soft, carrying a faint sweetness that surprised me. Chloe's eyes widened. She was clearly stunned by the sudden move. He kissed me. Things had already gone completely off script. Chloe unconsciously pressed her lips together. Her first kiss, treasured for 18 years, was gone just like that. While she was still in a daze, I leaned in and kissed her again. This time it lasted longer, and that sweet feeling became even clearer. Gu Beichen thought he understood everything perfectly, but he didn't know that I had secretly liked Chloe Vance all along. This honey trap was something I genuinely couldn't resist, so I decided to play along. The real question was whether Chloe could resist. After learning about their plan, I specifically looked into her background. In Linghai City, the Vance family behind Chloe was the true powerhouse among the elite families. Every other family, including Gu Beichen's Gu family, was less influential than the Vance family. Gu Beichen sure was bold. He actually sent the Vance family's young heiress to me. Then I might as well take full advantage of the opportunity. After letting go of Chloe Vance, I wiped the saliva from the corner of my mouth, accepted her gift, and said with a crooked smile, "Chloe, from now on, I'm your boyfriend." "We've already kissed. How could I reject your confession?" "Wouldn't that make me the bad guy?" Chloe finally regained her composure and frowned at me. Her expression was a mix of annoyance and something more complicated. Her beautiful eyes darted around, and after holding it in for a while, she finally spoke. "You were too sudden. I wasn't prepared at all. And you can't tell anyone about us kissing. I knew she was afraid Gu Bachin and the others would find out. Their plan had never included me taking advantage of Chloe Vance. What happened just now was a slap in Gu Bachin's face, and she had brought it upon herself. I merely helped make it a reality. Why? I pretended not to understand and asked. Don't ask why. Chloe's tone became firm. Just don't tell anyone. Fine, I replied casually. Then I leaned closer, grinning mischievously. Then let me kiss you again. No. Chloe immediately shook her head. You've already kissed me. Once you've kissed me, you can't just keep doing it. Ignoring her refusal, I gently held her face and kissed her again. At first, she struggled and resisted, but people are emotional by nature, and she was no exception. As the kiss continued, her body gradually softened. Her hands stopped pushing me away, and instead lightly wrapped around my waist as she slowly lost herself in the moment. There was one thing Gu Bachin had gotten wrong from the start. I wasn't some poor, aloof guy pretending to be cool. First of all, both my parents worked at state-owned enterprises. Our family wasn't as rich as the wealthy heirs, but we were still better off than most ordinary families. Secondly, I wasn't cold at all. My looks were considered school heartthrob level. Before transferring to this school, I'd already been talked into dating by several pretty girls at my previous school. My first two girlfriends had both been school beauties. After seeing so many attractive girls, I naturally wasn't interested in girls whose looks were average. In this school, there was really only one girl who caught my eye. Chloe Vance was a complete 10. Her friend Shen Yue was only half a point behind. I rejected girls I didn't like because I wanted to focus on studying and get into a good university. That's why I rarely interacted with other students. How did that become acting aloof? Besides, I had plenty of dating experience. One kiss was enough for me to know that Chloe's kiss had been her first. They were clearly waiting for Chloe's good news. Chloe, did it work? Shen Yue simply shouted over to us. Chloe glanced at them, pressed her lips together, and walked over, tugging my sleeve. Stepping right up to Gu Bachin and the others, she directly announced, Lin Yuan and I are together now. Gu Bachin smirked at me, his eyes full of mockery. Congratulations, Lin Yuan. Everyone else looked at me the same way, except for Shen Yue, who opened her round eyes wide and chimed in with pure excitement. Lin Yuan, from now on, you better treat our Chloe well. Just bear with it, her text read. 2 or 3 months at most, and he will definitely love you to his core. I caught this message out of the corner of my eye and sneered inwardly, while completely pretending not to notice on the outside. After reading the text, Chloe turned to look at me, so I turned my head and gave her a wide grin. At the same time, I started making small moves under the radar. My large hand reached out to grasp her small hand. She tried to pull away, but I held on tightly, preventing her from withdrawing it. First getting kissed, and now having her hand held. Chloe looked at me nervously, her palm breaking into a light sweat. I lightly tickled her palm, then gently massaged her fingers, causing her face to blush deeply. Haha. She was a complete relationship amateur. How could she possibly withstand the seasoned charms of an experienced dater like me? I even leaned down and underneath the school desk gently kissed her small hand. I kept all of this hidden. Apart from the two of us, no one else had any idea what was happening. When classes ended that afternoon, Gu Bachin sent Chloe another message, telling her not to rush home but to go on a date with me instead. I withdrew my gaze, continuing to play dumb. Chloe put her phone away, paused for a moment, and then asked, Lin Yuan, after class, do you have any plans? Not at all, I replied naturally, and immediately added, let's go hang out at the mall together. Okay, she agreed and nodded along. Though we called it shopping, it was really just the two of us hitting the nearby pedestrian street for a bite to eat before heading over to the North River bank. We sat together on a bench, feeling the cool breeze, and quite naturally, started acting like an affectionate couple. Chloe, I leaned in close to her, pouting my lips slightly. Give me a kiss. Is kissing the only thing inside your head? I wanted to kiss her, but she intentionally tried to maintain her cold, aloof facade, so I kissed her completely out of nowhere. This time, she stopped pretending. Instead, she wrapped her arms around my head, passionately locking lips with me. My exes had taught me that when a girl says no during a date, she often actually means yes. Furthermore, since a girl has already agreed to go on a date, she is already mentally prepared for physical intimacy. Even though my date with Chloe was under unique circumstances, she had already let me kiss her earlier and repeatedly engaged in those subtle flirtations with me. I was confident that the dating logic passed down by my exes applied to Chloe just the same. Judging by her response, my guess was entirely correct. After a while, we finally broke apart, but she still seemed to want more. She leaned back in and pecked my lips twice more, her clear eyes staring right at me with a gaze full of tenderness and infatuation. I knew perfectly well that her hidden craving for kissing was actually stronger than mine. I was absolutely certain that Chloe Vance had developed genuine feelings for me through these kisses. I couldn't help but laugh to myself. Oh, Gu Baichin. Pushing your own fiancé out to play the honey trap? You're really just delivering gifts right to my door. That night before bed, the text messages between Chloe and me never stopped. Chloe, I miss you so much. Received. Just deal with it. Send me a picture of you. What do you want it for? I want to fall asleep looking at your picture. I kept pestering Chloe for a photo, and after a little while, she actually sent a selfie of herself in a silk nightgown. Her exquisite curves were tantalizingly visible, which resulted in me barely getting a wink of sleep the entire night. Dating was one thing, but when it came to academics, neither of us let our grades slip. As luck would have it, we weren't just physically compatible, we shared the exact same intense dedication to our studies. She ranked in the top 5 of our grade, while I sat around 10th place. Both of us loved grinding through practice problems, and we would often argue until we were red in the face over having different methods to solve a single question. In the end, I would always reach under the table to hold her hand or gently scratch her palm as my way of apologizing to settle it. I began to slowly adapt to my role as Chloe's boyfriend, and even joined her circle of wealthy elite friends. To make me fall madly in love with Chloe as quickly as possible, Gu Baichin and his crew played along seamlessly, constantly praising how well matched we were. From my perspective, Gu Baichin was purely seeking his own doom. No matter how much Chloe might have liked him initially, those feelings would grow cold each time he pushed her into another guy's arms. Furthermore, Chloe now had me by her side. I paid absolutely no attention to what Gu Baichin and the others said. Whenever they weren't paying attention, my hand would rest gently on Chloe's waist, teasingly making trouble. These wealthy heirs all knew that Chloe and Gu Baichin had a verbal engagement, and they assumed I was in the dark. But in reality, I had long since read their lips and figured out every single detail. Right in front of Chloe's fiancé, engaging in these secret flirtations with her behind his back felt inexplicably thrilling. Chloe would occasionally roll her eyes at me, but she never made a move to stop me. To put it bluntly, she was giving me her tacit permission, and deep down, she probably quite enjoyed it. Gu Baichin thought Chloe was just going through the motions, fake dating me for the prank. But in reality, Chloe was already completely immersed, dating me in earnest. In the blink of an eye, the weekend arrived, and Chloe and I agreed to go to the amusement park. Gu Baichin, Shen Yue, and the others tagged along too. This crew was still trying to play matchmaker, wanting us to deepen our bond. Once we entered the haunted house, they intentionally screamed and ran off, leaving Chloe and me completely on our own. Chloe had once mentioned in one of her videos that she was afraid of the dark and even needed a nightlight to sleep. Yet Gu Baichin, who had been by her side for years, seemingly had no idea about this, and had even led the charge running ahead. Chloe stared in the direction he had gone, lost in thought for a long time. I knew her childhood affection for him was cracking, and I was going to replace Gu Baichin entirely, filling her heart myself. There actually happened to be a love stone inside the haunted house. With no one else around, I held Chloe's hand and walked openly up to it. Chloe, I heard that if couples kiss in front of this stone, they'll never be separated for the rest of their lives. I was purely bluffing, and she knew it too. Oh, please, she scoffed. Just say what you really want. I immediately rolled up my sleeves. All right, since you've already guessed my intentions, I won't hold back. I pulled her close and began kissing her deeply. By the time I led Chloe out of the haunted house, her lips were noticeably swollen. She glared at me with mock resentment, complaining, "If you want to kiss, just kiss. It's not like I'm stopping you." Did you really have to use that much force? It's because I like you so much. I scratched my head, making a playful excuse. Chloe could only sigh helplessly. Gu Baichin and Shen Yue were waiting for us nearby. With just one look, Shen Yue noticed something unusual about her lips. Chloe, what happened to your mouth? It looks a bit swollen. Chloe wasn't good at lying on the spot, but I smoothly fabricated a cover story. Chloe was walking too fast just now, and accidentally bumped right into a door. It's all your fault.